Hey everybody, Brian Wise here. Gosh, it's been just a couple of minutes, I guess, since I made my last video, and a lot of things have happened, so I just kind of wanted to bring you up to date. Oh my goodness. So, still making soap, enjoying that. That is a very, or it has become a very addictive process for me. I love making soap, and I think the thing is, I mean, it's frustrating. Like I made a loaf yesterday. I did yesterday morning. I did an orange essential oil loaf, and I put, of course, orange mica colorant into the batter, da da da, and black, right? Orange and black Halloween, right? My birthday is actually on Halloween, so, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So, and my batter turned out beautifully, and it was just the right consistency, trace as they call it. And I'm pouring the black and I'm pouring the orange, and it's swirling and it's mixing, and I'm thinking this is going to be beautiful. And about three-fourths of the way through the pour, I looked over to my left and saw that my orange scent had not been added. So I could not pour it out of the mold, right? Because then I just end up with whatever orange and black makes that color, because it would all run together. So I just took, I don't know, probably a little less than an ounce of the essential oil orange, and I just poured it into the remaining black and to the remaining orange, da da da. Poured that in there, did my swirls, it thickened up, and I was actually able to put a lot of texture on the top, and it was looking beautiful and gorgeous. Now, typically you would let your soap sit in a mold for at least 24 hours, and I've taken things out of the mold at 24 hours, and depending on the oils that you use, it can be kind of tacky or gummy because it's not completely dried out enough. This soap, however, of course, it's not been 24 hours, and that's one of the things that I've encountered with this whole soap and not even candles, the soap making process. It's patience. I'm just not having the patience, and so I'm not even patience, actually. I just get in a hurry, put it that way. I get in a hurry, and I'm just making stupid mistakes. Anyway, it's there, and it's not been a complete 24 hours, but it's really soft, and I'm thinking it may have separated a little bit because I added the essential oil to this much batter instead of this much batter. But I took it out of the wood frame, so now it's just in the silicone mold, and I'll let it sit there for a few days, and then I'll come back and we'll see what we have. What I've decided to do, if it's and it would just be the top that's soft, right? Because that's the batter that had all the essential oil poured into it. I'm just going to slice off the top, and I'm going to cut it into sections. You take like a cheese slicer or something like that, a vegetable peeler, and you can actually bevel your edges and get rid of the sharp corners. And I'll just fancy it up, and I'll call it hand soap. And then I'll package it as hand soap and sell it like that. Yeah, so, and it's going to have plenty of time to set up because we're actually going on a camping trip this weekend. I am really super duper excited about that. We have a cabin on the other side of La Veta that we spend quite a bit of time at. Oh my gosh, probably about 2 months ago, our cameras went off and there was a mountain lion on our deck walking down the sidewalk. And it kind of gives you pause to think, because I'm thinking about the nights that I've sat there in the living room with the sliding glass door open, just the screen pulled to, which is where the mountain lion was. And of course, boop, that's all he would have to do to, I guess, have dinner that night, either of me or of Sam Jones. But anyway, but that was pretty exciting. I saw one mountain lion a long, long time ago. We were actually on a ride around the ranch with in our Ranger, and he was way off in the distance, and he was hauling it up that hill, let me tell you. So that was pretty neat to see. But anyway, so we're going to Chikara, which is you get off of through Walsenburg, like you go into the camp, and then you head up to La Veta, go through La Veta, keep driving, and you'll end up in Chikara, and just a little past that, a dirt road to the right. Anyway, it's Blue Lake, Bear Lake campgrounds. I was a little disappointed in there. A lot of the trees, it looked like they were clear cutting. and which was so disappointing, right? But there were some people actually cutting some of the leftover timber for, I guess, their firewood. And so we pulled over and asked what happened. Well, come to find out, they had a storm through there a while back, and the winds were so high that it had blown over hundreds and hundreds of these gorgeous blue fir trees and pine trees. And anyway, and it just looked like a bomb had gone off there, and it was pretty much around the camping area too. So, but we're going to go on further up. We actually went through the Garden of the Gods last weekend. There is a trail, a dirt road off to the side there, and it actually leaves Colorado Springs. And if you follow it to the very end, you come out of Woodland Park. That was super duper exciting. It was 85 degrees when we left Garden of the Gods. When we got to the top, it was cold enough that I put the seat warmer on and bumped the heat up a little bit. It was a little toasty. But anyway, so we're going camping. So I'm, like I said, looking forward to that. The water is incredible. I'll put a picture on Facebook. I think I already did, but that's a whole nother story. But let me just kind of get back to what's been going on in the soaping industry. So we're winding down our summer markets. I think I have 2, maybe 3 left at Manitou, and maybe a couple of more left at Pine Creek at the Margarita Restaurant off of Woodman here. Both markets have been really exceptional. The Manitou market, I was a little bit disappointed in terms of volume and traffic because Manitou is such a touristy town. But we did okay. So that's coming to an end. And so now I'm turning my sights to the fall markets. I've actually signed up for a market in Black Forest, one in November and one in December, and my application is pending placement. So I think I'm in. They're just trying to figure out where to put me, so I'm really excited about that. And I have so many new products I'm going to roll out. And so I just want to talk about that just for a little bit. You've already seen my hats and scarves in a previous video, so I am taking those to the November, December markets. I really can't bring myself to take them to the markets I'm currently enrolled in because who's going to buy a scarf and a hat when it's, 85 degrees outside? So we'll see. But I will tell you, my youngest son came to visit a while back, he and his husband, and so one night we go downstairs and to the soaping candle making room, and we make this gorgeous cinnamon soap. The mica colorant reacted, I'm thinking, to the lye, the sodium hydroxide. So as it dried, you can see here, it's a light tan. I guess I would call that maybe a pale pink. It's not red like you would expect peppermint to be, and you can actually see the top. That actually got a little soda ash on there, I think. But anyway, a peppermint is such a harsh essential oil to work with anyway, but it smells great. So I just did the pH testing on this, and it's good to go. So yesterday I actually boxed it up and did my labels and ingredients and all of those kinds of things. And well, that's upside down, but anyway, you get the picture. No, that's upside down, yeah. But anyway, so this is ready to go. So I have that box, and I'm really excited about that. My son made that, Joey. Not bad, right? The beveling instrument, or cheese grater, vegetable peeler, and you just kind of peel the corners off. You can tell here, well, I don't know if you can see that, but I kind of beveled some of this already. New at beveling, but I'm getting the hang of it. So that's one. The other one I made a long time ago, back in July, but I just never had put it out yet. It is a pure Castile soap, except for the pink mica color. Castile soap is any soap that where the oils are all plant derived, olive oil, sunflower, those kinds of things. So it wouldn't have tallow, for example, which is tallow, beef tallow, which would be beef fat, basic. Well, it is just pure beef fat. But this is pure olive oil with a little mica color. So I don't know. Some people like that, some don't. Just kind of depends. And it's fun for me. So I just make a variety, and we'll see what sells. This is a geranium that Rodney and I did a while back. Can you see the color peppy? There's such a glare on the thing. But I stamped the soap with the color peppy image. I had one made. And of course, I think it turned out really pretty. I'm not super crazy about geranium in terms of the scent, and it is an essential oil. But it really turned out well. By the way, I used the peppermint this morning, and it lathers like crazy. So good job, Joey. Now this is 100% pure Castile soap. It is 100% olive oil, no colorants. It does have sodium hydroxide, of course. You can use baking soda to make soap, but you know what? If you want something that natural, then I don't know, just get some dirt, rub around, and then go what? I don't know. It's soap, right? And you want lather, and you want bubbles, and those kinds of things, and you want it to get hard, so you get the sodium hydroxide. The lye basically evaporates out of it, so to speak, because if it didn't, you couldn't use it because it would be toxic, or it would be, it would burn your skin when you use it. But this is 100% Castile, 100% olive oil, and it turned out gorgeous. I mean, it's smooth, it's slick. Anyway, this one I'm really excited about. It is, again, 100% olive oil. I guess I could call it Castile, but I also, my lye solution, instead of using distilled water, I used distilled water to brew a pot of coffee, and then I added the caffeinated water, distilled water, into the sodium hydroxide to make my water solution. And then as it started to saponify, right, or come to trace, in other words, I should say, I added coffee grounds. So it's got coffee grounds in it, and it's got caffeine in it, I'm assuming, and it's olive oil. So if you want a little energizing olive oil soap, boom, I've made it for you. I'm really excited about this one. This is, I don't necessarily like the big poof spikes and things like that on the top of my soaps. It's just kind of weird. Some of it I do. For example, that's kind of spiky. But I'm talking about, anyway. This is square. What is, pretty much square. What's really exciting about this is it is black pepper essential oil soap. And then it's got coconut and some other. I'm still playing with my recipes, trying to come up with the best recipe that is working for me and the one that I find to be good. And I can talk about that in a few minutes. But I'm basically down to coconut, olive oil, castor oil for bubbles, of course. And I'm also using shea butter for a little bit more creamy, luxurious kind of feel. And some sunflower oil, and it's working out really good. The soap is coming out smooth and slick and shiny, which is the way I like it. But anyway, smells just like black pepper, so I'm excited about that one. These are still curing, so I can't actually take these out, but they should be ready. Well, they will be ready by the time I go to my November and December markets. This one is really fun. The licorice, right? Star anise. And it smells just like a black jelly bean, right? Well, it's licorice, and I'm really excited about that one. It's still curing. It turned out gorgeous too. My corners are sharp and smooth, shiny, just the way I like my soaps to turn out. So I'm going to roll that also out in December. And I've got some other scents coming too. I'm going to do wax melts, and I didn't bring any up to show you. I've done a few wax melts. Just old boring round wax melts, but I also found the cutest wax melt containers. And it's probably about this big around, but it's in the shape of a puppy paw. And since the logo is Color Puppy, right? And the name of my business is Color Puppy Soaps and Candles, or Candles and Soaps, I'm going to do a lot of these wax melts. They're about this big around, and they'll be different colors. They're just cute. This one is a lemon bar that I made. I don't know. So you see the yellow, of course, for lemon. And then for some reason, black just felt right to me to go. I didn't want just a yellow bar of soap. So I did that and got a nice swirl from it. So I'm super excited about that. Those are my new soaps that I'm bringing out. I have liquid soaps, which I think I've already pointed out to you. And I don't mind telling you, people really aren't into liquid soaps. This is hand and body wash. So I actually when I did my eucalyptus soap, which gave me my soap-related injury. If I didn't tell you about that in another video, I can tell you about that. Well, I will tell you about it. I stirred so much, I've done something here. It's almost like tennis elbow, but I'm going to call it soap elbow. But anyway, so I had this huge thing of eucalyptus, and like I said, and I've got rose and coconut and mango, things like that. But people really aren't into hand and body soap. So I don't know. Rodney asked this morning, could he use it for shampoo? And I'm sure, why not? So there you go. We'll just see. I'm still taking it to market so everybody has a choice. So we have that to look forward to, but I'm trying to push it. But here's what I'm really excited about. So I've done a little bit of research, and if you just look at the chemicals that are in things these days, it's really mind-boggling. Well, not really, I suppose, because we're conditioned, right, to do these things. I mean, I'm 60 years old, and I've been conditioned for 60 years that macaroni and cheese is actually okay, or pasta is good for you, and it's not because it's just so full of sugar. And the same thing goes for the things, toothpaste, blah, blah, blah. I mean, read my blog. If you go to my website, if you email me or get in touch with me through my website, I can give you the code to access my blog. And it's all things sexual, because I am a sex therapist, and I just wanted a platform or a venue where I could talk about those kinds of things. And you would be surprised at the number of things that we put on our bodies and into our bodies that really affects not only our mood but our libido. So if you're interested, you can check that out. Having said all of that, the natural soaps are so much better than the soaps that you buy in the grocery store with all those chemicals. What I am going to do now, though, is I am getting into a line of cologne. So that I'm really excited about that. So my bottles they look like this, and I've gotten a lot of essential oils, and I've got a really fractionated coconut oil, which is super expensive. I think for 64 ounces runs about $75. But you need a good carrier oil, I've discovered, in order to blend and mix with your essential oils. If you don't have a good carrier fluid, be it oil or alcohol, then your essential oils would pretty much, you look at it, it's like grease and water is what I'm thinking. So I went on and I sprung for it, and so I'm really excited about that, because I'm going to actually create at least one for women and one for men. But I'm going to come up with my own scents and my own formulas, and I've got a tracking book or a log book. So I'll figure out my formula, whatever my formula is. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to make up, I don't know, maybe up to 10 different testers with different combinations of essential oils and things like that. You have light notes and medium notes, and then your base notes, and I've learned a lot about that. But I'm making my own cologne, so I'll have that ready to go as well for my November and December markets. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, so there you go. I'm leaving in a couple of weeks, going to Ireland. We're all checked in, ready to go. Passports in order. We're flying into Dublin. It's an 8-hour flight out of Denver, which is pretty amazing that you can leave Denver, Colorado, and 8 hours later, you're in Dublin. Of course, it'll be the next day there. And we're going to hang out in Dublin for a day. We went to an Irish pub last night. I'm priming myself. I had a Guinness. I love dark beer. I had just one. Ate a plate of nachos. Had raging indigestion. Again, how many times do I have to learn these lessons? So anyway, but I will be having a Guinness in Ireland. And I've gotten a 7-day itinerary mapped out. So we're going to start in Dublin, and we're just doing south, and we're just going to circle back around and go through Cork and Killarney and all of the coastal towns and the castles, and I am going to Waterford, where they make Waterford Crystal, and I am going to splurge on a really nice something crystal, and I'll have it shipped back to the States. I'm sure that I would beat it back. So I'm excited about that. I'm also starting a new career out at Peterson Air Force Base. I'm excited about that. I did a little brief stint out at Carson. There were a lot of systemic things at Carson. No shade on Carson, the soldiers and the installation itself, command staff, beautiful. There were just a lot of systemic things on the private side of it, which just wasn't working. It's neither good nor bad, it just wasn't working for me. But I am actually going back to Peterson as an MFLAC, and I'm really looking forward to that. Um, anyway, I think that brings you up to date. Look, if you have any questions about anything, um, go to my website, drop me an email. I will be glad to answer your questions. I am a sex therapist, and I'm also available. And I still have a private practice, and I have probably 12 or 13 in my private practice. So I'm doing that as well. I'm just really having fun. I forgot to tell you. So October 26th, we're having a Halloween party here at the house. My neighbor Becky and I have gotten together. We're going to co-host this party. We had gone over to her house on a couple of different occasions. Her daughter was interested in maybe getting into personal care products like body butters and things like that. So I invited both of Becky and her daughter to come over and check out my operation. But anyway, through the course of all of this, I don't know if it was me or her or just a mutual thing, wanted to bring the community together. So we're actually doing a Halloween party, and man, I've already started staging the basement down. The basement is finished. The caps are put on, everything's done. And I've got some really amazing Halloween things. My mister's going. We used to give the most amazing parties in Monroe when we lived there, of course. And they were just these big, huge, pretty much block party. Just tons and tons of people. Drank way too much food. The house was a wreck the next day. But those are some of my most favorable memories during that time. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. Well, I've got a lot to do. I got a camper to pack, and I've got soaps to box up, and this, that, and the other, because I do have market on Saturday, and I also have another market on Sunday, so back-to-back markets. But like I said, I'm wrapping them up. Peace out. Stay safe out there. If you have any questions about anything, want some advice, or just a commentary, or like me to give you a commentary on a particular topic for my blog, drop me an email. Let's get together and let's make it happen. And remember, if you're not really quite sure what to do in a particular situation, I always tell my clients, don't do anything. If you don't have to make a choice about a particular thing, do nothing. Because the choices that you make today, they're based on the circumstances that are here today. The choices you make tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, those choices are based on the circumstances or events that are occurring in that particular time. And your choices can be vastly different. So if you don't need to make a choice, if you're faced with a choice and you're not quite sure what to do, but you have a little bit of time, then don't make any choice. Wait it out. Exercise a little patience and see what the multiverse is going to send you. It is interesting. I do believe that the multiverse sends you what you need at a particular time. So this past Sunday, we were at the Manitou Market, and this lady comes up with her daughter, and we're talking about soap and this, that, and the other. And of course, we have I do, this very thick country accent. Where are you from? And I'm like, well, we're from North Louisiana, but we've lived in New Orleans, and we get through all of that, and it's kind of cool. And then we get into retirement, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. And I struggled, and I told her about my struggles initially with boredom and doing a few or engaging in a couple of unhealthy kind of behaviors, and then I said, but of course, I'm getting back into the world of work, and I'm actually going to work at Peterson. And lo and behold, she works at Peterson. She is an MFLAC, I just think there's a reason that she came to my table that day. And she also loves Levita and hangs out in Levita. And we know the same shops in Levita. We go to the same coffee houses in Levita, those kinds of things. So I just think that there was a reason for that. And I felt really good about it and had really good energy from it. So, So again, back to choices. If you don't need to make a choice right now, just wait and see. All right, I'm rambling. You guys take care. Have a safe and beautiful weekend. I know I plan to. And be on the lookout on my Instagram, on my website. You can go to my Instagram site because I will be posting amazing pictures of Blue Lake and Bear Lake and all the lakes that we get to go to. It's the kind of lake where it's just blue and it's crystal clear and it's got these huge boulders as big as this house just stacked up on top of each other, and it is just simply breathtaking. I'll post pictures. And remember, if again, when you're faced with a situation, wait it out, soap it up, and just see what comes out of it. Till then, you guys take care, be safe, and peace out. Ciao.